Hey everybody, we're back in my kitchen. And today, we're not going to be doing any cooking. We're going to be talking about the proper freezing and thawing of beef. So if you're anything like me, you love to jump on a good deal, especially when it comes to some beautiful steaks. So a lot of times, I'll be at a grocery store and I'll see a really good sale on steaks. And rather than just buying a few, I'll buy in bulk. I'll get the family packs or I'll just buy a few packages to have around. So today I'll go through a few different techniques on how to properly wrap or vacuum seal or store that beef in your freezer to make the quality of it last the longest. So there's a few ways meat comes packaged in the grocery store. If you're buying right from the butcher counter, a lot of the times it comes in butcher paper that's lined with a thin layer of plastic, and that works pretty well for freezing. If you're going to freeze for a shorter amount of time, I think it's fine because it helps keep air off the product. But really, it doesn't last as long wrapped in that paper as it does when it's vacuum sealed or sealed tightly in plastic. Another way you'll find it sometimes, like this. So this is already vacuum sealed, and so this, the way it is good to go right in your freezer because the air is taken out of it and it'll last a lot longer in this packaging. Sometimes you'll find it in the black styrofoam trays that are overwrapped, and those are the ones that are meant for sale but not really long-term storage. So that's where you want to get into repackaging. And if you're like me, sometimes you'll buy the whole piece and then cut it up yourself, and then you'll need to repackage as well. The first method I'm going to show you involves no special equipment at all. Basically, I'll wrap it in plastic, then put it into a Ziploc bag and press the air out. The plastic part's optional, but I think it's important because it helps to keep the air off the steak, and that's really most important. So what I'll do is I'll put it right in the middle, and then I'll tightly fold over the plastic wrap, trying to push out any air, and then one at a time, fold over that side. That way any air is pushed out this side, and then tightly fold it there. This is in order to try and, again, keep all the air off. Then we'll put it inside the Ziploc bag, kind of centered. Then take it, zip it about 3/4 shut, and then have some water. Some cold water. And then I'll just use this to help push the air out of the plastic bag. You want it to be cold. That'll keep the meat colder. You don't want to warm the meat up at any point. And then I'll just try and push all the air out down till I get to that last little part where it's open and that doesn't get submerged. Then I'll Ziploc it. And there you go. It's practically vacuum sealed. You got a double layer of protection. This is a great way to go about freezing meat if you don't have a vacuum sealer, which is actually the next method that I'm going to use. So it's pretty straightforward. You just put your steaks into the special vacuum seal bag. You want to give them some room because you do want air to be pulled out in between them. You kind of don't want them too much of a brick as if possible. So that's it, and then we'll just move these to the vacuum sealer, and the vacuum sealer will do all the work for me. So now that I've got my vacuum sealer set up, all I got to do is just put the bag in here, and then you want to leave plenty of room at the end because you've got to create a lip that you tuck in. Get situated there. Make sure there's no creases along the line of the seal bar. The seal bar is right across here, and if there's any creases, it may not get a proper seal. So then you just put it down, and then you do the vacuum and seal. And really make it vacuum tight. The vacuum sealer has done its job, and you can see they're vacuum tight. Now I did leave a gap, but when that air was being pulled through, they kind of got squished together, and that's fine, but that's why it's good to leave that air gap there because it might create bubbles of air down here, which you don't want. So this is what's great about a vacuum sealer. If you're like me and you like to buy in bulk, it's a great investment. They're probably $100 or less. They're just a great investment to have, and they really protect the quality of your beef in the freezer. Air is your enemy. If you have a lot of air in your packaging, that's when you get freezer burn. So I'll show you an example of what goes wrong when freezing. So a few months ago, I bought some smoked neck bones that I like using in my stocks and soups and everything. Well, because I was going to use them in soups and there's sharp bones, I didn't worry about freezing them properly. And I kind of forgot about this one, and you can see all that moisture is crystallized, and that's just all freezer burn. I'm not as worried about this neck bone because, again, it's going into a stock, but you don't want to let that happen to your steaks. So air is your enemy. That's why vacuum sealing, or at least pressing out as much air as possible, is so important. So it's very important to freeze the steaks as rapidly as possible. The reason for this, as the water turns to ice, it creates small crystals. If you freeze water rapidly, the crystals remain small. If you freeze it slowly, then the crystals get bigger and they'll actually damage the fibers of the steak. And you don't want that because that's what creates a steak that loses texture and loses moisture as it thaws out. Now that you have your meat properly frozen, it's time to think about thawing. The first method I'll go over is right in the sink. I want to find a container that's big enough to hold my steak or steaks, and then put that in there, and we'll go under some running water. You want cold running water. It's important to be cold. You want this thing to thaw quicker than in the fridge, but still not too fast. It's all about just a slower thaw, just like a quick freeze. Once the meat is fully submerged in the running water, I'll reduce it to just a trickle. And that's all I really want because I do want the water to be moving over the steak. It'll help it thaw quicker. So cold running water in the sink is my first preferred method for a quick thaw. Another method for thawing meat isn't quite as quick as running under cold water, but it does work quick. So it is just submerging the steak in water and then putting it in your refrigerator. The water helps to facilitate thawing, but you will have to change the water out every 30 minutes to an hour because the water will get so cold that it kind of just evens out and then it doesn't really help anything. So you want to change out the water with more cold water, but it will help to thaw quicker. It's something you could probably put in the morning and have it ready by dinner time. So the final and most effective method is just a slow thaw in your refrigerator for about 24 hours, depending on the size of the piece of steak or roast you're using. If you're doing a roast, it's going to take a lot longer. But if you're using a steak, it'll take about a day. I always put it into a container. That way, if there are any small punctures in the bag, it does not leak out in my refrigerator. The reason I like to slow thaw is because the slower it thaws out, it gives the steak more time to retain the moisture that's in it. If you thaw it out very quickly, a lot of times that's when you'll see it releases a lot of the water. So the slower it thaws, the more moisture is retained within the steak. The most important tips I have for freezing steaks are to freeze immediately. This maintains the best quality of your steak. Make sure you get all the air out or as much air out as possible. Air is your enemy. That's what creates freezer burn. So have it as vacuum tight as possible. Another important tip is to freeze quickly. The faster, the better. And I always suggest thawing slowly. The slower you thaw, the better it will be in the end. So freeze quick, thaw slow, and you're going to have a better steak.